The courtroom fell silent as 22-year-old Kesha Saunders stepped forward with visible nervousness written across her face. She wasn't just suing a former coworker over damaged property or workplace drama. According to her, this case destroyed her life. Kesha claimed that Michelle Claw, a woman she once worked beside at a telemarketing office, falsely accused her of vandalizing a car, leading to her arrest, 4 days in jail, the loss of her job, and humiliation she said she would never fully recover from. Judge Judy immediately focused on one thing. How do you know each other? Kesha explained that both women worked together during 2009 at a telemarketing company. Michelle had already been employed there before Kesha arrived. But according to Kesha, tension started almost immediately after Michelle returned from vacation. She described Michelle as someone who constantly stared at her, watched her closely, and created unnecessary conflict at work. Judge Judy listened carefully while Kesha described an argument involving a microwave during lunch break. According to Kesha, she had heated food during her short lunch period when something accidentally spilled inside the microwave. Before she even realized there was a mess, Michelle allegedly exploded in anger, loudly demanding she clean it immediately and embarrassing her in front of coworkers. Kesha admitted she cleaned it once she realized the spill happened, but she insisted. Michelle continued criticizing and provoking her afterward. Judge Judy interrupted quickly. You're not here because of a microwave. The courtroom grew quiet again. Then, Kesha described the moment everything changed forever. On September 9, 2009, while still at work, police officers arrived and arrested her for felony vandalism. She said she had never been arrested before in her entire life. The charge shocked everyone in the courtroom. According to Kesha, she spent 4 days and 3 nights in jail. Her original bail was set at $50,000 before eventually being reduced. She lost her job after the arrest and could not return because Michelle had also obtained a restraining order against her while she was still in custody. Judge Judy turned toward Michelle. When was your car vandalized? Michelle calmly explained that her vehicle had been scratched deeply along one side and across the trunk while parked near her home. But what mattered most wasn't the damage itself, it was the mysterious witness. According to Michelle, she discovered a note left under her windshield wiper from a woman named Mary Smith, a stranger who supposedly witnessed the vandalism, and wrote down Kesha's license plate number after seeing someone matching her description key, the car. Judge Judy's expression immediately changed. The story sounded suspicious almost instantly. Michelle claimed she contacted this stranger by phone and later met her near the vandalized vehicle before both women went together to the police station. But Judge Judy began noticing major problems. Michelle didn't know where Mary Smith actually lived. She didn't know which relatives the woman was supposedly visiting. She couldn't clearly explain why this complete stranger agreed to become deeply involved in the case, but later disappeared entirely. The judge's questions became sharper with every answer. You met this stranger exactly where your car was parked? Yes. And then both of you went together to the police station? Yes. The courtroom tension increased rapidly. Judge Judy explained that real witnesses usually leave behind real information. But in this case, almost everything surrounding the witness sounded vague, incomplete, or strangely convenient. Things became even more suspicious when Michelle admitted that the witness never appeared in court. According to Michelle, detectives advised her not to contact the woman anymore. Judge Judy clearly didn't believe that explanation. Here was someone allegedly concerned enough to report a serious felony, travel to the police station, cooperate with investigators, and identify a suspect, yet suddenly disappear completely before trial. The judge leaned forward. That doesn't make sense. Then came the moment that changed the entire case. Judge Judy decided to personally call the witness phone number listed in the report. The courtroom became completely silent. When someone answered, the situation immediately grew stranger. The woman on the phone did not appear to be Mary Smith. She claimed to live in Wyoming, not California, and once Judge Judy began asking direct questions about how long she had owned the phone number, the caller abruptly hung up. That single phone call changed the energy inside the courtroom instantly. Judge Judy now openly questioned whether the witness even existed at all. She explained that false stories often collapse once details are tested carefully. According to the judge, the entire witness situation felt manufactured. The missing witness, the disconnected information, the suspicious phone number, the refusal to testify. None of it felt believable anymore. Michelle attempted defending herself by describing workplace hostility and claiming Kesha once made threatening comments at work. But Judge Judy challenged those claims too. The judge acknowledged that Kesha may have been messy or careless at work, especially regarding the microwave incident. But being rude or irresponsible did not automatically make someone guilty of felony vandalism. Judge Judy finally delivered the conclusion that stunned the courtroom. She stated that while she believed Michelle's car was genuinely damaged, she no longer believed the witness story. And, without that witness, entire arrest appeared deeply questionable. According to Judge Judy, the evidence suggested Michelle likely helped create or support a false accusation that led to Kesha being arrested unfairly. The judge ruled in Kesha's favor, $5,000. As Kesha quietly thanked the court, Michelle stood frozen in disbelief. Judge Judy's final remark captured the entire disaster perfectly. "When things don't make sense," she said firmly, "they usually aren't true." And before anyone in the courtroom could fully process what had just happened, next case was already entering the courtroom. The next courtroom battle involved family, responsibility, and a badly wrecked Land Rover that quickly exposed financial decisions nobody wanted to admit publicly. 25-year-old Jacqueline Sanchez stood before Judge Judy, suing her younger brother, Joshua Nesbitt, after he crashed her vehicle and refused to pay for the damage. Judge Judy immediately noticed something unusual the moment the case began. The car still had a loan balance exceeding $14,000. Yet, according to Jacqueline, the vehicle supposedly did not carry collision insurance. Judge Judy's expression changed instantly. "You had a loan on the car without collision coverage?" The judge clearly didn't believe it. Jacqueline attempted explaining that when she purchased the insurance, she simply asked for whatever coverage was necessary and assumed everything had been handled properly. But Judge Judy interrupted quickly. "No lender allows that." The courtroom tension grew heavier immediately. According to Jacqueline, she and her husband bought the 2002 Land Rover years earlier and still owed significant money on it. While temporarily staying with her brother in Florida along with her children, Joshua borrowed the SUV and later crashed it during a trip to court. Judge Judy turned toward Joshua. "Was the accident your fault?" Joshua hesitated briefly before finally admitting yes. Technically, according to him, he had caused the crash. But then, he added another detail that instantly shifted attention inside the courtroom. He explained he had been driving to court for a reckless driving and DUI-related matter. Judge Judy stared at him carefully. The courtroom audience reacted immediately. Joshua quickly clarified that the DUI charges were eventually dismissed because he tested under the legal limit. But Judge Judy barely reacted. She had already formed an opinion about his judgment. According to Joshua, after the crash, he immediately called his sister, expecting insurance would handle everything. Instead, Jacqueline informed him there was no collision coverage on the vehicle at all. Joshua insisted he never would have borrowed the SUV had he known that. "I assumed the car was covered," he explained. Judge Judy understood that argument. In fact, she openly acknowledged, most people would reasonably expect a financed vehicle to carry full insurance protection. But legally, Joshua still caused the accident. That fact mattered most. The judge then shifted attention toward Jacqueline's financial credibility. She demanded proof of recent car payments, bank statements, loan records, anything showing the plaintiffs were still responsibly maintaining the loan. But Jacqueline arrived without proper documentation. Judge Judy became visibly frustrated. According to the judge, adults handling financed vehicles should understand basic financial responsibility, especially when lawsuits involve expensive damages. Still, the physical damage to the Land Rover was obvious. Photographs revealed major destruction. Repair estimates exceeded $6,000. Joshua attempted introducing another complaint entirely. While his sister and her children stayed in his home, he claimed they damaged property and left the house filthy before leaving. Judge Judy immediately challenged him. "Why didn't you clean it yourself?" The courtroom laughed softly as Joshua awkwardly tried explaining that he hired a maid service instead, because the mess was supposedly overwhelming. Judge Judy clearly wasn't interested. At the center of the case remained one simple fact. Joshua borrowed the vehicle. Joshua crashed the vehicle. And Joshua admitted fault. The judge provisionally ruled in Jacqueline's favor, but with one important condition. Before any final judgment would be entered, Jacqueline needed to provide proof she had continued making payments on the financed vehicle after the crash. As the siblings left the courtroom, the tension between them remained painfully obvious. But the next case entering Judge Judy's courtroom would become even more explosive. This time, involving road rage, pepper spray, shattered glass, and two grown men behaving exactly like angry teenagers trapped in traffic. Ernest Hunter claimed fellow driver Jason Deo sprayed him directly in the face with mace during an aggressive traffic confrontation. Jobson, however, argued he acted purely in self-defense after Ernest came toward him, holding a heavy steel trailer hitch like a weapon. Judge Judy immediately focused on the beginning of the confrontation. According to Ernest, he was driving his pickup truck to work early one morning when Jason honked aggressively behind him at a traffic light. Once the light turned green, Jason passed him, annoyed. Ernest sped back around and pulled in front again. Judge Judy paused the testimony immediately. So now both of you are acting like idiots. The courtroom laughed nervously. Neither man denied it. According to Ernest, the argument escalated at another red light when Jason pulled alongside his truck, yelling insults through the passenger side window. Then, Ernest claimed, Jason suddenly sprayed pepper spray directly into his face. Jason admitted using the mace. But according to him, he only reached for it after Ernest began digging around inside his truck for something dangerous. Judge Judy turned back toward Ernest. What were you reaching for? After several uncomfortable seconds, Ernest admitted he grabbed a heavy steel trailer hitch from beneath his seat. The courtroom reacted instantly. Judge Judy repeated the story slowly, almost in disbelief. So, instead of driving away, you grabbed a metal weapon and got out of your truck? Ernest claimed he only intended to knock the spray can away. But his own testimony made him sound increasingly reckless. He admitted, approaching Jason's vehicle while partially blinded from the spray, and eventually swinging the heavy metal hitch toward the car. The blow shattered a rear window and dented the vehicle badly. Jason's version differed slightly. According to him, both men were already screaming insults at each other, like two school kids, as he described it himself. But once Ernest started reaching downward aggressively inside the truck, Jason feared he was grabbing a weapon. That fear prompted the first spray of mace. Judge Judy immediately noticed inconsistencies between Jason's police statement and his courtroom testimony. In one version, Jason sprayed Ernest before he exited the vehicle. In another version, he claimed the spray happened later, during the physical confrontation. Those contradictions mattered. Judge Judy carefully explained something important. While Ernest behaved recklessly afterward, Jason appeared to escalate the confrontation first by using mace prematurely, instead of simply driving away. According to the judge, both men behaved immaturely. But she ultimately believed Ernest's claim that he was sprayed before fully becoming a physical threat. Judge Judy ruled partially in Ernest's favor, awarding him $2,500 while dismissing Jason's counterclaim. Still, the judge strongly criticized both drivers. "You're grown men," she said sharply. "You should know better." As the men exited court, even they admitted the entire situation spiraled out of control, because neither one chose to calm down before things became violent. But the next hearing entering the courtroom would shift away from road rage, and into relationships, manipulation, jealousy, and furniture bought in the name of love. The next case, entering Judge Judy's courtroom, centered around a failed romance that ended with accusations of manipulation, emotional betrayal, and thousands of dollars spent on furniture one side claimed was never truly a gift. 33-year-old Darnell Peters sued his former girlfriend, Alicia Monroe, demanding repayment for expensive household furniture he purchased while the two lived together during their relationship. According to Darnell, he paid for nearly everything inside the apartment because Alicia constantly promised they were building a future together. But after the relationship ended suddenly, she kept the furniture, changed the locks, and refused to return anything. Alicia immediately rejected that version of events. According to her, the items were gifts freely purchased at during the relationship, she claimed. Darnell only demanded repayment later because he became jealous after learning. She started seeing someone else. Judge Judy leaned back immediately. So this isn't about couches, she said. This is about hurt feelings. The courtroom became quiet. Darnell admitted the breakup devastated him emotionally. He explained that during the relationship, he worked long hours and regularly spent money upgrading Alicia's apartment because she repeatedly talked about marriage and long-term plans. Receipts showed purchases for a leather sofa, a dining room set, electronics, and bedroom furniture, totaling several $1,000s. But Alicia argued something critical. Most of the receipts remained only in Darnell's name because he offered to pay voluntarily. According to her, there was never any agreement requiring repayment if the relationship failed. Judge Judy immediately focused on intent. Were these loans? Or were they romantic gifts purchased during a relationship? Darnell insisted they were investments toward a shared home. But Judge Judy challenged him sharply. When you buy furniture for someone you're in love with, she explained, that usually makes it a gift unless there's a clear agreement otherwise. The courtroom audience nodded quietly. Still, the situation became more complicated after text messages were introduced as evidence. Several messages showed Alicia repeatedly promising Darnell they would always build together and discussing plans for a future home. One message even referenced our furniture and our apartment. Judge Judy noticed the emotional ambiguity immediately. The judge explained that relationships often create confusion because couples rarely separate emotional promises from financial responsibility clearly enough. Then, another explosive detail surfaced. Darnell claimed Alicia began another relationship before officially ending theirs. Alicia denied cheating physically, but admitted she had been speaking privately with another man while still emotionally involved with Darnell. Judge Judy almost smiled knowingly. So basically, the judge said, you were emotionally checking out of one relationship while preparing for another. Alicia looked uncomfortable, but didn't deny it completely. The emotional tension inside the courtroom intensified quickly. Darnell admitted discovering messages on Alicia's phone triggered the final breakup argument. According to him, once confronted, Alicia became cold, distant, and eventually forced him out of the apartment entirely. Judge Judy carefully separated emotional betrayal from legal ownership. Being hurt does not automatically entitle someone to reimbursement. But neither does calling everything a gift erase financial fairness completely. The judge reviewed receipts, one by one. Several items clearly appeared purchased jointly for the shared household. Others seemed more personal. Eventually, Judge Judy reached a compromise. She ruled Alicia could keep much of the furniture already inside the apartment. But Darnell would receive partial reimbursement for several high-value items purchased. Shortly before the breakup, neither side looked fully satisfied, but Judge Judy delivered another sharp observation before dismissing the case. When adults mix romance and money carelessly, she warned, they usually end up arguing about both later. As the former couple left court separately, without even making eye contact, the next case entered immediately. And this time, the courtroom atmosphere changed completely. A grandmother sued her own grandson after a family dispute involving stolen jewelry, missing savings bonds, and accusations that addiction had destroyed trust inside the family. 72-year-old Gloria Bennett appeared visibly emotional as she explained why she brought legal action against 20-year-old Marcus Bennett, the grandson she once helped raise. According to Gloria, valuable jewelry and several savings bonds disappeared from her bedroom shortly after Marcus temporarily moved into her home. Following financial problems, Marcus strongly denied stealing anything. But the emotional pain inside the courtroom became obvious immediately. Gloria explained she allowed Marcus to get this with her because he lost his job and had nowhere else to go. At first, she believed helping him would give him stability. Instead, according to her, money and valuables slowly started disappearing from the house. Judge Judy asked the obvious question. Why did you suspect him specifically? Gloria's eyes filled with tears. Because no one else had access. The courtroom grew silent. Marcus admitted he struggled with substance abuse problems in the past, but insisted he had been sober for months before moving into his grandmother's home. Still, Judge Judy noticed something important quickly. Marcus avoided eye contact repeatedly whenever specific items were discussed. Then Gloria introduced pawn shop documentation. Several jewelry pieces, matching her descriptions, had recently been pawned using identification connected directly to Marcus. The courtroom reacted immediately. Marcus froze. At first, he claimed friends gave him the jewelry. Then he changed the story again, insisting he only pawned items temporarily to help pay bills. Judge Judy interrupted instantly. So, you admit you pawned your grandmother's jewelry? Marcus lowered his head quietly. Yes. The emotional atmosphere inside the courtroom changed completely. Gloria began crying softly while explaining she spent years helping Marcus through school problems, financial problems, and addiction treatment programs because she believed family never gives up on each other. Judge Judy looked directly at Marcus. Then why steal from the one person still helping you? Marcus struggled answering. Eventually he admitted desperation, debt, and addiction pressures overwhelmed him again after losing work. Judge Judy's tone softened slightly for the first time all case. The judge acknowledged addiction destroys judgment and trust inside families every day, but she also explained something firmly. Being addicted may explain terrible behavior, but it does not excuse it. Marcus admitted selling multiple items and using some money irresponsibly before eventually regretting everything afterward. Gloria explained she didn't truly care about the jewelry anymore. What hurt most was losing trust in her grandson. The courtroom became emotional as Judge Judy described how addiction often turns families into victims. Long before courts ever become involved, the judge ruled entirely in Gloria's favor and ordered Marcus to repay the stolen value gradually over time. But before dismissing the case, Judge Judy looked directly at Marcus and delivered one final warning. If you don't change your life now, she said firmly, you won't just lose property cases. You'll lose everyone who still loves you. Marcus quietly nodded. And for the first time all day, courtroom sat completely silent.
The next case entering Judge Judy's courtroom involved betrayal between friends, social media humiliation, and a physical fight that spiraled far beyond control. 21-year-old Brianna Lewis sued her former best friend Tasha Reed after an argument during a birthday party allegedly turned violent. According to Brianna, The friendship completely collapsed. Private information she shared in confidence appeared online for hundreds of people to see. Judge Judy immediately sensed emotional drama before either woman fully spoke. Both looked furious, both interrupted constantly, and both clearly carried weeks of unresolved anger into the courtroom. Brianna explained that she and Tasha had been close friends since high school. They attended parties together, shared apartments at times, and trusted each other with deeply personal information. But everything changed after Brianna began dating Tasha's cousin. According to Brianna, Tasha became jealous and increasingly hostile. Once the relationship started becoming serious, Tasha denied jealousy immediately. Instead, she claimed Brianna changed completely after starting the relationship and began acting disrespectfully toward longtime friends. The argument escalated after screenshots from private text conversations appeared online. Brianna accused Tasha of posting embarrassing personal messages publicly to humiliate her. Tasha admitted posting certain things online, and insisted Brianna provoked the situation first by insulting her publicly at a party. Judge Judy immediately cut through the emotional chaos. "What exactly are you suing for?" Brianna explained that during the birthday party confrontation, Tasha allegedly threw a drink at her, pushed her into a table, and damaged her phone during the fight. Photos showed a cracked screen and bruises on Brianna's arm. Tasha admitted the confrontation became physical but insisted Brianna attacked first. According to her, Brianna aggressively confronted her in front of guests after discovering the online posts and immediately began yelling insults. Witness statements from party guests conflicted badly. Some claimed Tasha started the physical contact. Others insisted Brianna approached aggressively first. Judge Judy became visibly irritated. "You both sound exhausting," she said bluntly. The courtroom laughed nervously, but the judge continued carefully reviewing the evidence. Then another witness revealed something important. Before the physical fight happened, both women spent nearly an hour exchanging insults publicly on social media while threatening to confront each other at the party. Judge Judy almost shook her head. "So both of you arrived already looking for a fight?" Neither woman denied it. The judge explained something painfully simple. When adults publicly humiliate each other online, emotional confrontations almost always become worse in person. Someone damaged the phone physically, and someone escalated the situation beyond words. After reviewing photographs and testimony, Judge Judy concluded both women behaved immaturely, and Tasha likely caused most of the physical damage during the altercation. The judge ordered partial reimbursement for the damaged phone while heavily criticizing both women for turning private friendship problems into public humiliation campaigns. Social media, Judge Judy warned, gives immature people an audience for bad decisions. Neither side looked satisfied leaving court. The friendship was clearly over forever. But the next courtroom battle would become even more emotional, this time involving a father, a teenage daughter, and accusations that years of broken promises finally destroyed their relationship completely. 16-year-old Emily Carter sat quietly beside her mother while her father, David Carter, defended himself against claims that he failed to support his daughter financially and emotionally after the divorce. The case centered around unpaid expenses for school activities, medical costs, and a vehicle David allegedly promised to purchase for Emily but never delivered. Judge Judy immediately noticed the emotional distance between father and daughter. Emily barely looked at him. David appeared nervous and defensive. According to Emily's mother, David repeatedly made promises he never intended to keep: birthday gifts, school trips, dance expenses, a used car for Emily's 16th birthday. Each promise, according to her, ended the same way: disappointment. David strongly denied abandoning his daughter emotionally. He insisted financial struggles after the divorce made certain promises impossible to fulfill. Judge Judy listened carefully while Emily quietly described years of cancelled plans and broken expectations. The courtroom became noticeably emotional. Unlike earlier screaming cases, Emily spoke softly and carefully. That made her testimony even more powerful. According to Emily, what hurt most wasn't the missing money. It was constantly feeling unimportant. She described waiting repeatedly for weekends with her father, only for plans to change suddenly at the last minute. David looked devastated hearing her speak. Judge Judy noticed immediately. The judge explained that children remember disappointment longer than parents realize. Financial hardship may explain missed payment. Emotional absence leaves different kinds of damage. David admitted he sometimes avoided communication because he felt embarrassed about his financial situation after losing steady work. But Judge Judy challenged him directly. "You stopped calling because you were embarrassed?" David quietly nodded. The judge shook her head slowly. According to Judge Judy, many parents mistakenly disappear emotionally when they feel financially inadequate, not realizing children often care more about consistency than money itself. The courtroom became silent again. Then the legal issue returned. Several receipts showed Emily's mother personally covered expenses David previously agreed to split: school fees, medical co-pays, extracurricular activities. David admitted many remained unpaid. Judge Judy ruled partially in favor of Emily's mother for documented expenses while delivering one of the most emotional speeches of the day. "Children," she said firmly, "don't measure love through promises. They measure it through presence." David appeared close to tears. Emily finally looked toward him briefly for the first time all hearing. As they left court, the financial judgment almost seemed secondary compared to the emotional reality. Both father and daughter now faced openly for the first time. But the next case entering the courtroom would destroy any remaining calm atmosphere completely. This time involving roommates, stolen rent money, and accusations that one friend secretly planned to disappear without paying bills while the other got trapped with eviction notices.
The next case entering. Judge Judy's courtroom centered around friendship, trust, and financial irresponsibility that eventually left one young woman facing eviction completely alone. 24-year-old Samantha Cole sued her former roommate, Renee Walker, after claiming Renee secretly stopped paying rent months before abandoning their apartment entirely without warning. According to Samantha, the situation nearly destroyed her financially. She explained that the two women became friends while working together at a restaurant and eventually decided to split an apartment to save money. At first, everything worked smoothly. Bills were divided evenly. Rent was paid on time, and the friendship appeared stable. But over time, Samantha claimed Renee's behavior changed dramatically. According to her, Renee started going out constantly, missing work shifts, spending money recklessly, and avoiding conversations about bills. Judge Judy immediately focused on the lease agreement. Both names appeared on the lease. That meant both women carried legal responsibility. Samantha explained that for several months, Renee handed her cash, supposedly meant for rent payments. Samantha trusted her friend completely and assumed everything was being handled properly. But one afternoon, an eviction notice appeared on the apartment door. The courtroom became silent. According to Samantha, she was completely shocked because she believed rent had been paid already. When she contacted the landlord, she learned multiple payments were missing. Judge Judy immediately turned toward Renee. "Where did the money go?" Renee looked uncomfortable immediately. At first, she claimed financial hardship caused temporary delays, but after further questioning, the truth slowly surfaced. According to Renee, she used portions of the rent money to cover personal expenses after losing hours at work. She believed she would catch up later, before the landlord noticed. Judge Judy almost laughed in disbelief. "You thought the landlord wouldn't notice unpaid rent?" The courtroom reacted quietly. Samantha explained, she ended up borrowing money from relatives. To avoid immediate eviction, while Renee disappeared completely for several days. According to her, once pressure increased, Renee stopped answering calls entirely, and eventually moved out secretly while Samantha was at work. Judge Judy looked directly at Renee. "You left your friend with the eviction problem?" Renee admitted, leaving suddenly, but claimed she felt overwhelmed and embarrassed. The judge's tone sharpened immediately. "Embarrassment does not pay rent." The courtroom audience laughed softly, then another issue surfaced. USSD bills. Several accounts remained unpaid under Samantha's name because Renee allegedly promised to transfer money electronically, but never actually sent it. Bank screenshots, presented in court, showed repeated excuses. "I'll send it tomorrow. My check is late. I'm waiting on money." Weeks passed without payments arriving. Judge Judy explained that roommate situations apt to collapse quickly when honesty disappears. According to the judge, financial irresponsibility becomes far worse when people continue lying instead of admitting problems early. Renee quietly admitted she avoided difficult conversations because she feared confrontation. But Judge Judy rejected that excuse immediately. "Avoiding problems," she said firmly, "usually makes them more expensive." After reviewing lease documents, unpaid bills, and payment histories, Judge Judy ruled largely in Samantha's favor, ordering Renee to reimburse unpaid rent and utilities. Still, the judge criticized Samantha slightly as well. According to Judge Judy, adults sharing apartments should monitor finances directly, instead of relying entirely on trust and verbal promises. "Friendship," she warned, "does not replace responsibility." As the former roommates left court separately without speaking, the next case entered almost immediately, and this time, courtroom atmosphere shifted from financial conflict to something much more emotional. A young man named Trevor Mills sued his former fiancée after their engagement ended only weeks before the wedding, leaving thousands of dollars in non-refundable wedding expenses behind. Trevor claimed his ex-fiancée, Nicole Bennett, abruptly canceled the wedding after secretly reconnecting with an old boyfriend behind his back. Nicole denied cheating physically, but she admitted reconnecting emotionally with someone from her past while engaged. Judge Judy immediately recognized the emotional disaster unfolding. According to Trevor, the relationship appeared stable for years. Venues were booked, invitations were mailed, deposits were paid, families already prepared for the wedding. Then suddenly Nicole became distant, cold, avoidant. Eventually, she admitted she no longer felt certain about marriage. Trevor described the experience as humiliating. According to him, Nicole continued planning the wedding outwardly while emotionally preparing to leave the relationship privately. Nicole quietly admitted she struggled with doubts for months before finally canceling everything. Judge Judy immediately focused on timing. "When did you know you didn't want to marry him?" Nicole hesitated. That hesitation told the courtroom everything. Eventually, she admitted she probably knew long before officially ending the engagement. Trevor looked devastated, hearing it spoken aloud. The courtroom became noticeably uncomfortable. Judge Judy explained that leading someone toward marriage, while emotionally withdrawing privately, creates enormous emotional and financial damage. Still, the judge carefully separated heartbreak from legal responsibility. Some wedding deposits were refundable, others were not. Oh, we're not. And not every failed relationship automatically creates financial liability. Then text messages entered evidence. Several messages showed Nicole repeatedly reassuring Trevor that everything was fine. Even during periods, she later admitted feeling uncertain about the relationship. Judge Judy noticed the contradiction immediately. According to the judge, honesty matters most when major financial commitments are involved. Trevor explained he spent thousands on venues, catering, photography, and travel arrangements, believing the wedding remained certain. Nicole argued she never intentionally manipulated him and simply struggled emotionally with ending the relationship. Judge Judy believed parts of both stories. The judge explained that many people stay in relationships too long because they fear hurting someone emotionally, only to create even worse damage later. After reviewing contracts and receipts, Judge Judy ordered Nicole to reimburse Trevor partially for certain non-refundable wedding expenses, while emphasizing that emotional indecision has real consequences. Before dismissing the case, the judge delivered another sharp observation. Marriage, she said, should never happen because someone is afraid to disappoint people. Nicole quietly nodded. Trevor looked emotionally exhausted, and as they left court separately, reality finally settled in. The wedding would never happen. But the next case, waiting outside the courtroom doors, would become one of the most chaotic confrontations of the entire day. This time involving neighbors, surveillance cameras, accusations of harassment, and a backyard dispute that escalated into complete obsession between two households. The next courtroom confrontation, entering Judge Judy's courtroom, involved jealousy, damaged reputation, and accusations that one woman deliberately tried destroying another's life after a workplace friendship completely collapsed. 26-year-old Amanda Pierce sued former friend and coworker Rachel Dean after claiming Rachel spread false rumors at work that eventually caused Amanda to lose her job. According to Amanda, the situation began as ordinary friendship drama before turning into something much uglier. Both women originally worked together at a retail clothing store and became close quickly. They socialized after work, shared personal problems, and trusted each other deeply. But the friendship deteriorated after Amanda received a management promotion Rachel also wanted. Judge Judy immediately noticed the emotional tension. Rachel denied jealousy instantly. Instead, she claimed Amanda became arrogant and disrespectful once promoted. According to Rachel, co-workers gradually stopped liking Amanda because of her attitude, not because of rumors. Amanda strongly disagreed. She explained that shortly after receiving the promotion, anonymous complaints began circulating, accusing her of favoritism, inappropriate relationships at work, and dishonesty involving schedules and employee hours. The pressure became overwhelming. Coworkers stopped speaking to her normally. Managers started questioning her decisions constantly. Eventually, Amanda lost her position entirely. Judge Judy focused immediately on evidence. What proof do you have this came from her? Amanda produced print social media messages and screenshots allegedly connected to Rachel, discussing private workplace information with other employees. Some messages appeared highly personal. Others openly mocked Amanda's management role. Rachel admitted venting emotionally about Amanda online. denied intentionally spreading false information. Then another witness stepped forward. A former coworker testified that Rachel frequently complained about Amanda after the promotion and openly claimed Amanda didn't deserve the job. According to the witness, Rachel repeatedly encouraged others not to cooperate with Amanda at work. Judge Judy looked directly at Rachel. "Were you trying to sabotage her?" Rachel immediately denied it. But her anger inside the courtroom made the resentment obvious. Eventually, Rachel admitted she felt betrayed because Amanda stopped spending time with her after becoming management. Amanda explained she intentionally created distance because managers were discouraged from forming overly personal friendships with employees they supervised. Judge Judy understood that explanation immediately. The judge explained that workplace promotions often destroy friendships when one person feels left behind emotionally or professionally. Still, emotional jealousy does not justify intentionally harming someone's reputation. Then another major issue surfaced. Amanda claimed Rachel falsely implied she was having an inappropriate relationship with a district supervisor. The rumor spread rapidly inside the workplace. Rachel denied starting it directly. One admitted repeating conversations she heard from others. Judge Judy interrupted sharply. That's how rumors spread. The courtroom became quiet again. According to the judge, repeating damaging claims without proof often becomes just as harmful as inventing them personally. After reviewing messages, testimony, and employment records, Judge Judy concluded Rachel likely contributed significantly to the hostile work environment Amanda experienced. The judge ruled partial damages in Amanda's favor, while criticizing both women for allowing emotional insecurity and workplace competition to destroy a once close friendship. Some people, Judge Judy warned, would rather damage someone else's success than improve their own lives. Rachel looked furious. Amanda looked emotionally relieved. But the next case entering court shifted the atmosphere completely once again, this time involving a teenage son, a stolen vehicle, and parents whose divorce had already left the family emotionally shattered long before the legal dispute began. The next courtroom case entered carrying years of unresolved pain from a broken family that had already been torn apart long before anyone filed legal paperwork. 48-year-old Michael Turner sued his ex-wife, Cynthia Turner, after their 17-year-old son allegedly stole Michael's truck, crashed it during a late-night joyride, and caused thousands of dollars in damages. But, according to Cynthia, the situation wasn't nearly that simple. Judge Judy immediately sensed emotional exhaustion from both parents. Years after their divorce, resentment still controlled almost every interaction between them. And now, their teenage son sat silently between them, while both parents blamed each other for what happened. Michael explained that his son, Tyler, was staying temporarily with him during summer visitation. According to him, Tyler repeatedly ignored household rules, stayed out late, and acted increasingly rebellious. One evening, after an argument about curfew and friends, Michael claimed Tyler secretly took the truck keys during the night and left without permission. Hours later, police officers contacted Michael, informing him the truck had been wrecked after Tyler lost control near an intersection. Photographs showed severe front-end damage, Judge Judy turned toward Tyler quietly. Did you have permission to take the truck? Tyler lowered his head. No. The courtroom became silent. Michael insisted. Cynthia undermined his parenting constantly after the divorce, making Tyler believe rules no longer mattered. According to him, every attempt at discipline turned into conflict because Tyler knew his mother would defend him afterward. Cynthia fired back immediately. She claimed Michael's temper and controlling behavior pushed Tyler away emotionally for years. According to her, Tyler acted out because he felt constantly criticized and emotionally trapped whenever staying with his father. Judge Judy interrupted sharply. This is not about your divorce anymore, but the emotional damage between both parents clearly influenced everything involving their son. Tyler eventually admitted he only intended to drive a short distance with friends and never expected an accident. Judge Judy looked unimpressed. You're 17, she said firmly, not 7. You knew exactly what you were doing. Tyler admitted speeding shortly before losing control of the vehicle. Then another painful detail surfaced: alcohol. Alcor Pullett's reports suggested several teenagers inside the vehicle may have been drinking earlier that night, although Tyler himself avoided formal charges after testing under the legal limit. Judge Judy immediately noticed the pattern. Another young person making reckless decisions because nobody fully established consistent boundaries. Michael argued Cynthia should help pay for the damages because Tyler primarily lived with her and because she allegedly refused to discipline him properly after the crash. Cynthia strongly rejected responsibility. According to her, Tyler stole the truck while under Michael's supervision. Judge Judy carefully explained the legal reality. Parents often want courts to solve emotional parenting failures after years of inconsistent communication, but legally, Tyler himself caused the damage. The bigger issue, according to the judge, was how both parents spent years competing against each other instead of parenting together consistently. Then, Judge Judy looked directly at Tyler. What happens next? She warned. Depends entirely on whether you learn from this now or become another adult sitting in this courtroom years later blaming everyone else. The courtroom remained completely quiet. Eventually, Judge Judy ordered Tyler to contribute toward repair costs gradually through part-time work, while emphasizing that both parents needed to stop weaponizing their divorce against each other emotionally. Michael looked frustrated. Cynthia looked emotionally drained, but Tyler finally appeared shaken by the seriousness of everything for the first time all hearing. As the family exited court slowly, Judge Judy quietly shook her head before the next case entered. And this time, the courtroom atmosphere shifted immediately toward pure chaos. A woman named Erica Coleman sued her former boyfriend after claiming he intentionally destroyed her apartment during a breakup rage incident involving smashed televisions, broken mirrors, and holes punched directly through walls. The defendant, Marcus Hill, admitted the argument became emotional. That denied causing all the destruction himself. According to Erica, the relationship already struggled for months because Marcus constantly accused her of cheating whenever she spent time with friends or stayed late at work. The arguments became increasingly toxic. Eventually, Erica decided to end the relationship completely. That's when everything exploded. According to Erica, Marcus arrived at the apartment, demanding answers after seeing social media photographs showing her at a nightclub with coworkers shortly after the breakup. The confrontation escalated rapidly. Neighbors reportedly heard screaming, objects crashing, and glass breaking for nearly 20 minutes before police arrived. Photographs showed shattered televisions, broken picture frames, overturned furniture, and heavy damage throughout the apartment. Marcus admitted punching one wall during the argument, but he insisted many items were already damaged beforehand or broken accidentally while both sides struggled physically during the confrontation. Judge Judy immediately noticed how emotionally unstable the relationship sounded. According to Erica, Marcus frequently monitored her social media activity obsessively and constantly accused her of disrespecting him publicly. Marcus admitted jealousy played a role, but he claimed Erica intentionally provoked him emotionally by posting pictures designed specifically to make him angry after the breakup. Judge Judy interrupted sharply. So your response was to destroy property? Marcus lowered his head quietly. The courtroom tension became heavy. Then another witness entered. A neighbor testified hearing Marcus repeatedly yell things like, "If I can't have you, nobody will." The courtroom reacted instantly. Marcus denied saying those exact words, but Judge Judy clearly believed the emotional confrontation became dangerously intense. According to the judge, jealousy, combined with anger, often creates situations where adults completely lose control of rational thinking. Repair estimates showed thousands in damages throughout the apartment. Marcus admitted responsibility for some destruction, but argued Erica exaggerated the total amount dramatically. Judge Judy reviewed the photographs carefully. Some damage appeared undeniably intentional. Walls, electronics, furniture, this wasn't an accident. Eventually, the judge ruled heavily in Erica's favor while delivering another powerful warning about emotional control. When relationships end, Judge Judy explained, people reveal their true maturity level. Marcus looked embarrassed. Erica looked emotionally exhausted, and as both parties exited separately without speaking, Judge Judy prepared for yet another courtroom battle. Filled with anger, broken trust, and decisions people desperately wished they could take back. The next courtroom case, entering Judge Judy's courtroom, involved a family business destroyed by mistrust, missing money, and accusations that greed tore relatives apart completely. 55-year-old Raymond Ellis sued his nephew, Jordan Ellis, after claiming thousands of dollars disappeared from the family auto repair shop while Jordan managed daily operations. According to Raymond, he trusted his nephew completely. For years, Jordan practically grew up inside the repair shop. Raymond taught him mechanical work, helped him financially, and eventually promoted him into management. Because he believed family loyalty mattered more than anything. But eventually, money started disappearing. Cash payments no longer matched receipts. Vendor invoices remained unpaid. Customers complained about deposits for repairs that were never completed. And, according to Raymond, every trail eventually led back toward Jordan. Judge Judy immediately focused on evidence. What exactly are you accusing him of taking? Raymond explained that over several months, nearly $12,000 became unaccounted for through missing cash payments and questionable business transactions. Jordan denied stealing anything directly. Instead, he claimed Raymond poorly managed the business for years and now wanted someone else to blame after. Financial problems worsened. The courtroom tension became intense. Immediately, according to Jordan, many cash records inside the shop were disorganized long before he ever handled management responsibilities. But Raymond strongly disagreed. He explained that business problems only started after Jordan gained access to daily finances. Then another damaging detail surfaced. Bank statements showed Jordan making unusually expensive purchases during the exact period money allegedly disappeared from the business: the outdoor clothes, a motorcycle, nightclub expenses, hotel charges. Judge Judy leaned forward immediately. "You suddenly had money to spend." Jordan became visibly uncomfortable. At first, he claimed friends helped him financially. Then he changed the story, insisting he earned extra money through side repair jobs outside the shop. Judge Judy noticed the contradictions instantly. The judge explained that people hiding financial dishonesty often change explanations repeatedly once pressure increases. Then, Raymond introduced surveillance footage from inside the repair shop office. The courtroom watched quietly as video appeared, showing Jordan removing cash envelopes from a desk drawer late at night after closing hours. Jordan immediately defended himself. According to him, Raymond frequently authorized cash withdrawals informally for shop expenses and employee payments. But Judge Judy quickly asked the obvious question. Then why hide it? Jordan had no strong answer. The emotional tension shifted dramatically. Once, Raymond described how deeply the betrayal affected him personally. According to him, losing money hurt. Realizing his own nephew may have taken advantage of years of trust hurt far worse. The courtroom became noticeably emotional. Jordan eventually admitted taking some cash occasionally without formal permission. That insisted he always intended to repay everything once business improved. Judge Judy shook her head slowly. "That's stealing," she said firmly. The courtroom fell silent. Jordan argued family businesses often handled money informally, but Judge Judy rejected the excuse immediately. Family relationships do not erase accountability. In fact, according to the judge, financial dishonesty inside families usually causes even deeper emotional damage because trust becomes personal. After reviewing bank records, surveillance footage, and accounting documents, Judge Judy ruled heavily in Raymond's favor. Jordan was ordered to repay substantial gradually over time, but, before dismissing the case, Judge Judy delivered another painful truth. "When people steal from strangers," she explained, "they lose money. When people steal from family, they lose trust forever." Raymond looked heartbroken. Jordan looked ashamed. And neither man spoke while leaving the courtroom, but the next case, entering court, would become even more emotionally explosive. This time, involving a divorced couple, hidden relationships, and accusations that one parent intentionally manipulated children against the other. After the marriage collapsed, the next courtroom case, entering Judge Judy's courtroom, involved a family business destroyed by mistrust, missing money, and accusations that greed tore relatives apart completely. 55-year-old Raymond Ellis sued his nephew, Jordan Ellis, after claiming thousands of dollars disappeared from the family auto repair shop, while Jordan managed daily operations. According to Raymond, he trusted his nephew completely. For years, Jordan practically grew up inside the repair shop. Raymond taught him mechanical work, helped him financially, and eventually promoted him into management. Because he believed family loyalty mattered more than anything. But eventually, money started disappearing. Cash payments no longer matched receipts. Vendor invoices remained unpaid. Customers complained about deposits for repairs that were never completed. And, according to Raymond, every trail eventually led back toward Jordan. Judge Judy immediately focused on evidence. "What exactly are you accusing him of taking?" Raymond explained that over several months, nearly $12,000 became unaccounted for through missing cash payments and questionable business transactions. Jordan denied stealing anything directly. Instead, he claimed Raymond poorly managed the business for years and now wanted someone else to blame after. Financial problems worsened. The courtroom tension became intense. Immediately, according to Jordan, many cash records inside the shop were disorganized long before he ever handled management responsibilities. But Raymond strongly disagreed. He explained that business problems only started after Jordan gained access to daily finances. Then another damaging detail surfaced. Bank statements showed Jordan making unusually expensive purchases during the exact period money allegedly disappeared from the business: the indoor clothes, a motorcycle, nightclub expenses, hotel charges. Judge Judy leaned forward immediately. "You suddenly had money to spend." Jordan became visibly uncomfortable. At first, he claimed friends helped him financially. Then he changed the story, insisting he earned extra money through side repair jobs outside the shop. Judge Judy noticed the contradictions instantly. The judge explained that people hiding financial dishonesty often change explanations repeatedly once pressure increases. Then, Raymond introduced surveillance footage from inside the repair shop office. The courtroom watched quietly as video appeared, showing Jordan removing cash envelopes from a desk drawer late at night after closing hours. Jordan immediately defended himself. According to him, Raymond frequently authorized cash withdrawals informally for shop expenses and employee payments. But Judge Judy quickly asked the obvious question: "Then why hide it?" Jordan had no strong answer. The emotional tension shifted dramatically. Once, Raymond described how deeply the betrayal affected him personally. According to him, losing money hurt. Realizing his own nephew may have taken advantage of years of trust hurt far worse. The courtroom became noticeably emotional. Jordan eventually admitted taking some cash occasionally without formal permission. That insisted he always intended to repay everything once business improved. Judge Judy shook her head slowly. "That's stealing," she said firmly. The courtroom fell silent. Jordan argued family businesses often handled money informally, but Judge Judy rejected the excuse immediately. Family relationships do not erase accountability. In fact, according to the judge, financial dishonesty inside families usually causes even deeper emotional damage because trust becomes personal. After reviewing bank records, surveillance footage, and accounting documents, Judge Judy ruled heavily in Raymond's favor. Jordan was ordered to repay substantial gradually over time, but Before dismissing the case, Judge Judy delivered another painful truth. When people steal from strangers, she explained, they lose money. When people steal from family, they lose trust forever. Raymond looked heartbroken. Jordan looked ashamed. And neither man spoke while leaving the courtroom, but the next case, entering court, would become even more emotionally explosive. This time, involving a divorced couple, hidden relationships, and accusations that one parent intentionally manipulated children against the other. After the marriage collapsed, the next case entering Judge Judy's courtroom involved friendship, desperation, and accusations that emotional manipulation was used to borrow money that was never intended to be repaid. 32-year-old Heather Collins sued former friend Monica Reyes after claiming Monica fabricated a medical emergency in order to borrow thousands of dollars from multiple people. According to Heather, the situation began with panic, sympathy, and fear, but eventually she realized the entire story may have been a lie. Judge Judy immediately leaned forward. What was the emergency? Heather explained that Monica contacted her late one night, crying uncontrollably and claiming doctors discovered a serious medical condition requiring urgent treatment. According to Heather, Monica said she could not afford medication, transportation, or hospital expenses. Heather described feeling terrified for her friend. The two women had known each other for years. They attended church together, shared personal struggles, and trusted one another deeply. So when Monica begged for help, Heather gave it. According to Heather, over several weeks she loaned Monica money repeatedly through cash transfers, electronic payments, and borrowed credit cards. At first, Heather believed everything completely. But eventually inconsistencies began appearing. Hospital stories changed. Medical dates shifted, and according to Heather, Monica constantly avoided providing actual documentation. Despite promising repeatedly to do so, Judge Judy immediately focused on evidence. Did you ever see medical records? Heather quietly answered no. The courtroom became silent. Then another major detail surfaced. Heather later discovered Monica had also borrowed money from several other mutual friends, using nearly identical emotional stories. Some were told Monica needed surgery. Others were told she needed medication. One person was told Monica's child required emergency care. Judge Judy's expression hardened immediately. Monica denied intentionally deceiving anyone. According to her, she truly experienced emotional and financial struggles during that period and may have exaggerated certain details because she felt desperate and ashamed, asking for help directly. Judge Judy interrupted sharply. So you lied. Monica hesitated, then quietly admitted, yes, partly. The courtroom reacted instantly. Heather looked devastated. According to her, the worst part wasn't losing money. It was realizing someone she genuinely loved and trusted emotionally manipulated people through fear and sympathy. Judge Judy understood that completely. The judge explained that financial scams between strangers are painful. Betrayal between friends becomes deeply personal because trust itself gets destroyed. Then, Heather introduced messages from Monica promising repayment once treatment ended, but investigation later revealed many of the hospitals and clinics Monica referenced had no records matching her stories. Monica eventually admitted she used portions of the money for unrelated expenses including rent, shopping, and travel costs after falling behind financially. Judge Judy looked stunned. You used fake illness stories to survive financially? Monica began crying quietly. According to her, once she told the first lie, the situations spiraled beyond control. She kept inventing new emergencies because she feared people would abandon her completely if they learned the truth. Judge Judy's tone softened slightly. The judge acknowledged fear and financial desperation push people toward terrible decisions sometimes. But emotional manipulation destroys relationships permanently. Especially when illness and fear are involved. Then, another witness entered. A mutual friend testified that Monica once claimed she was dying, while simultaneously posting vacation photographs online. Days later, the courtroom reacted loudly. Monica covered her face emotionally. Judge Judy shook her head slowly. According to the judge, sympathy is one of the easiest emotions to exploit because caring people instinctively want to help others in crisis. That's exactly why lying about illness becomes especially cruel. After reviewing payment histories, messages, and testimony, Judge Judy ruled heavily in Heather's favor and ordered Monica to repay substantial portions of the money borrowed fraudulently. But, before dismissing the case, Judge Judy delivered another emotional warning. When people lie for money, she explained, they may lose finances temporarily, but when they lie using sickness and fear, they lose trust forever. Heather looked heartbroken, Monica looked emotionally shattered. And neither woman spoke while leaving the courtroom. But the next case waiting outside the courtroom doors would become even more explosive. This time involving an apartment fire, accusations of negligence, and roommates blaming each other after one careless mistake nearly destroyed an entire building. The next courtroom case, entering Judge Judy's courtroom, involved smoke, fire, panic, and accusations that one careless decision nearly turned into tragedy for an entire apartment building. 27-year-old Natalie Brooks sued her former roommate, Jenna Foster, after a kitchen fire caused severe smoke damage throughout their apartment and forced multiple tenants temporarily out of the building. According to Natalie, Jenna's negligence destroyed nearly everything she owned. But Jenna insisted the situation was a terrible accident that spiraled out of control within minutes. Judge Judy immediately focused on the fire itself. How did it start? Natalie explained that on the night of the incident, Jenna began cooking food on the stove shortly before leaving the apartment, unexpectedly, to meet friends downstairs. According to Natalie, Jenna left oil heating unattended while distracted by a phone call. Within minutes, smoke filled the apartment. Then flames erupted from the kitchen. The courtroom became silent. Natalie described returning home to screaming neighbors, emergency vehicles, and firefighters evacuating the building. According to her, the fire itself remained mostly contained inside the kitchen area. Smoke and water damage spread throughout the apartment, ruining furniture, electronics, clothing, and personal belongings. Judge Judy turned toward Jenna immediately. Did you leave food cooking unattended? Jenna admitted, stepping outside briefly, but according to her, she never intended to be gone long enough for anything dangerous to happen. Judge Judy looked unimpressed. That's how apartment fires start. The courtroom reacted quietly. Then another damaging detail surfaced. Fire department reports showed smoke detectors inside the apartment had missing batteries at the time of the fire. Judge Judy immediately asked who removed them. Both women awkwardly blamed each other. Natalie claimed Jenna constantly complained about low battery warning sounds and likely removed them weeks earlier. Jenna denied it entirely, but firefighters testified the alarms were clearly non-functional during the incident. Judge Judy became visibly irritated. According to the judge, smoke detectors exist precisely because people make careless mistakes. Without working alarms, the situation could have become fatal. Natalie explained. She lost irreplaceable personal items, including family photographs, school records, and expensive electronics, due to smoke contamination and water damage from firefighters extinguishing the flames. Repair estimates and insurance documents showed thousands in damages. Jenna admitted responsibility for leaving the stove unattended. One, argued Natalie, also contributed to unsafe conditions by ignoring missing smoke detectors and clutter throughout the kitchen. Judge Judy carefully separated the issues. Clutter did not start the fire. Unattended cooking did. Then another emotional layer surfaced. Natalie claimed Jenna initially apologized repeatedly after the incident and promised to help financially with damages. But once insurance complications appeared and expenses increased, Jenna allegedly stopped answering calls completely. Jenna admitted feeling overwhelmed after realizing how serious the situation became. According to her, she feared lawsuits, eviction problems, and massive debt all at once. Judge Judy understood the panic, but the judge explained something firmly. Running away emotionally after causing damage only makes situations worse. The courtroom remained tense. While photographs of the burned kitchen appeared on screen, blackened cabinets, dyed appliances, smoke-stained walls, the emotional reality of how close the building came to catastrophe suddenly became obvious. Then, a firefighter witness testified. According to him, if neighbors had discovered the smoke, even 10 minutes later, the flames likely would have spread into neighboring units, and the entire floor could have caught fire. The courtroom became completely silent. Judge Judy looked directly at Jenna. "You're lucky nobody died." Jenna lowered her head immediately. According to the firefighter, several residents, including elderly tenants and small children, had to evacuate through heavy smoke conditions during the emergency response. That detail visibly changed the emotional weight inside the room. Natalie explained. She stayed temporarily in hotels and with relatives for weeks afterward because the apartment remained unlivable during repairs. Insurance covered part of the damage. Not everything. And, according to Natalie, Jenna never truly accepted the seriousness of what happened. Jenna finally became emotional herself. Through tears, she admitted. The fire traumatized her deeply, and said she replayed the night in her mind, constantly wishing she had simply stayed in the kitchen. Judge Judy's tone softened slightly for the first time. The judge acknowledged that accidents happen every day. But avoidable accidents caused by carelessness often leave permanent consequences for innocent people. Then Judge Judy addressed something larger. According to her, many young adults move into apartments without fully understanding real responsibility. Bills, safety, insurance, Emergency preparedness. Simple careless moments can destroy lives within minutes. The courtroom remained quiet. After reviewing fire reports, insurance documents, repair estimates, and testimony, Judge Judy ruled largely in Natalie's favor, ordering Jenna to reimburse portions of uninsured losses and temporary living expenses. But before dismissing the case, the judge delivered one final warning. Responsibility, she said firmly, means understanding that your mistakes can become someone else's disaster. Natalie looked emotionally exhausted. Jenna looked devastated and ashamed. And as both women slowly exited the courtroom, Judge Judy paused quietly before the next file was handed to her, because once again, another case filled with broken trust, emotional decisions, and consequences nobody expected was already waiting.